I found a bunch of the best and worst Gorilla Tag fan games, ranging from level 1 all the way to level 100, and in this video, I'm going to be playing all of them and giving them a score out of 10. The level 1 game is Random Runners. As soon as I hop into the game, I see a computer, so I go there to change my color code. After looking around for a bit, I decided to go to the chill room. There was this really cool picture, and there was also a speeding wall game mode, so I went in there and tried to beat it. I got past the first part, then the second part, but then I died. So then I decided to look around some more. There was a vending machine, but it didn't work. There was also this top hat, and I tried to buy it, but it wouldn't let me get it. There was a question of the day sign as well, and I read that, but then I decided to leave the game. Random Runners gets a 1 out of 10. The level 10 game is Zeus Runners. As soon as I load into the game, I see these cool signs, like this one. Make sure to move with your hands and not your feet, silly goofball. Then I jumped out of tutorial and went to Stump to join a code. There was this hallway, so I went in there, and then I went to check out the cosmetics. There was some pretty cool cosmetics, like a gun, this free straw hat cosmetic, and this free beanie cosmetic. There was this sign that said mods, and I went over to check it out. And the mods were really expensive. Nobody's paying $20 for those mods. I looked around the corner and there was some monkey heads, so I went to them. There was J-Man Curly. Then I saw this queso bundle. Yeah, he looks like you. And then we saw the entrance to mountains, so we went in there. I slid down the ice, and there was this really cool slide, so we went over to there. And the slide wasn't that great. This slide sucks. So we left the mountains map and went back to the shop. There was this really cool green screen, and I did something that you should totally do. Then we saw this laser maze sign, but it was just a dead end. So we went to check out Forest, and there was this really bouncy trampoline. And there was this monkey hitting the Gangnam Style. So then we went to the jungle map. There were these cool mushrooms, these cool handprint things, but nothing else. So we left the jungle. There was this hole that said caves, so we went down there, but there wasn't anything down there, so we left the game. Zeus Runners gets a 6 out of 10. The level 20 game is Monkey Mischief. So I load into the game and I see a computer, so I join a code. So then I go out of Stump to look at the map. There was this cool statue, but then I saw a giant building, so I went over to it. There was a blue monkey sleeping on the floor, and I beat him up. Then I saw a banana, and I threw it at him. Then I went to check out the cosmetics. There was some really cool cosmetics, like these lightsabers, Walter White, an E-Kitten, and even Will Byers from Stranger Things. But that's not all. There was also a traffic cone outfit, a cool mustache, and even a purple dinosaur. Then I went back to Forest. I saw this monkey crying, and I beat him up. Then I saw a tunnel, so I went to it, but I found out it was horror. Yeah, no, I'm out. There was a shipping container, but there wasn't anything in it. And there was also a pirate ship, but there wasn't anything in it either. And that's when I saw the slide. I went over to it, and I found a cool cube. Then I threw it off the edge. I kept exploring for a bit, and I found a TV, but then I decided to leave the game. Monkey Mischief gets a 4 out of 10. The level 30 game is Kong. I hop into the game, and I immediately see a ladder. So I go to climb up it, but there wasn't anything up there. So then I went to check out the map, and the music was really loud. There was this cool barrel, and there was this cool tower thing. I climbed up it, but there wasn't anything up there. So I left the map because it was getting way too loud, and I tried to find other stuff to do, but there wasn't anything else in the game. So I just decided to leave. Kong gets a 0 out of 10. The level 40 game is Cube Runners. I joined the game and was greeted by this really cool loading screen. I pressed start and then continue. I pressed start one last time, and I finally pressed the last button. Then it took me to the tutorial. There was a rope, so I climbed up it and got the first button. I got the second button and the third. I got past the second level, then I got out of tutorial. It took me to a weird room. I got out of it and there was a sign that said shop, so I went in it. There were no good cosmetics, so I just went back to the main map. There was a sign that said game modes, so I went in there and looked at the game modes. I decided to go to the zero gravity mode. I got in and I explored for a bit. There was a free burger cosmetic, so I got that, and there was also free UFO cosmetic, so I got that as well. I went back to the main map and looked at the game modes again. There was a parkour game mode, so I decided to do that. I saw a sign that said easy or hard, and I chose easy because I suck at the game. I got past the first part, then the second, and I beat it. So I decided to go back to the start and beat the hard one. There was no way I could get past it, so I went back through the tunnel. I pressed the back button, went through another tunnel, and went to play one last game mode. There was one that said speeding wall, and I thought it would be fun. So I went in there, I got in, and ran towards the end. The room turned red, and I got to safety. Then I waited for the wall to get past and kept going. I waited at the wall, then got to safety. I waited for the wall to go past me, and I went to the exit. I made it to the end and went down the hole. I got my reward, and then I left the game. Cube Runners gets an 8 out of 10. The level 50 game is Scary Baboon. I hop in the game and I go to check out the cosmetics. There was this weird ball and I grabbed it. There was also this astronaut bundle and a frying pan. I mute the music and I go explore. I ran past the broken monsters and went up the elevator. There were these red guys, but I just ran past them. I ran down the hallway and there was this cool pool room. I went down the orange slide, then I went back to explore some more. I found a gate and I closed it. Then I looked around some more and there was this weird green room, but it didn't have anything cool, so I left. I went back down the elevator and there was this really big room. I went down the stairs and found another ball. I saw the cafeteria, but it didn't have anything interesting. There was this sign that said something about a scavenger hunt, so I went to find all of the items. I found a lantern, another lantern, and a stick. I went upstairs, found these weird eggs, but no items. So I went to check out the skate game mode. I got in and went to the big ramp and jumped off. But then I left the game. Scary Baboon gets a 6 out of 10. The level 60 game is Retrust. I load into the game and check out the wardrobe to see if I have any cosmetics. But I didn't have anything. So I went down the hallway to check out the map. There was this thing that let you choose game modes, and I decided to choose the jetpack game mode. Then I went through the gate to check out the game mode. I went and got the first hoop, I kept getting other hoops, and then there was one that said 8 times. So I went through that and got my points. But then I decided to leave the map. I went to check out the cosmetics, and there were some cool ones, like my beanie. I saw a cooler, and I went to check it out. Inside of it was the Holy Bible, so I got it because it was free. I went to put on my beanie, then found the mirror, and I looked pretty nice. After that, I decided to go check out the Only Up game mode. I went in and got past the first jumps. Then I climbed up the top hat and got to the next part. I kept going for a bit, but then I fell. And I didn't want to do all that again, so I left the game. Retrust gets a 6 out of 10. The level 70 game is SUBCRIBE. I launched my game, go out a stump, and there was a rope. So I tried to climb it, but it didn't work very well. There was this really cool space tent, this other tent, and even a tent with Jamie and Curly. There was also this tunnel that was blocked off. Then I went to check out the shop. There was this gray monkey with a very large gear. And this weird raccoon thing. I tried to buy my beanie, but I was too poor. So then I decided to go check out the beach map. I went through the tunnel and went right up the stairs. There were a bunch of slides, and I chose to go down the green one. While going down the slide, I saw something very strange. Yeah, it was J-Man Curly again. I made it to the bottom of the slide and went on top of the map. But there wasn't anything up there, so I went down the blue slide. I went back through the tunnel, into the forest map, and looked around for a bit. There was an Only Up map, so I tried that. I got in, and then I gave up because it was too long. So I just decided to leave the game instead. SUBCRIBE gets a 7 out of 10. The level 80 game is Big Scary. I hop into the game and I go down the blue tunnel. There were a bunch of cosmetics, but there was one cosmetic that caught my eye. It was the content creator hat. I thought it looked really nice. And I think this is a good time to ask you to subscribe, because if I hit 20k before the end of the year, I'm gonna do something really big. Then we decided to go to the first level. We waited for the monster to get past, then we ran to the exit and made it to level 2. I got the first button, the second button, the third button, and then I got the last button. I went through the gate and onto level 3. We waited for the monster to run past us, and then I found the wheel. I took the wheel to the exit and jumped down to level 4. I found some and grabbed it. Then I went back up the slide and went down the yellow one. We skipped the 5th level because it was too scary, and we went to the 6th level instead. I checked the first house for a key, but there wasn't anything there. After looking through every single house, I finally found the last one. So I grabbed it and took it to the pedestal. I went in and pressed the buttons, then we made it to level 7. I got the first rod and put it in, then the second rod and put it in, then the third rod and put it in, but then I just decided to skip the level. So I went to level 8. I kept pressing the rocks until eventually I found the button. So I went to the exit and went down the tunnel to level 9. I got the first bucket, then the second, then the third, until I got all the candy. There was a bouncy house, so I decided to jump on it before I went to the next level, and after beating the level, we just decided to leave the game. Big Scary gets a 9 out of 10. The level 90 game is Monk. As soon as I load into the game, I go to check out the forest. And let me just say, the forest map was super big. There was this cute little frog, a house that said eggs, but it didn't have anything, and a house that said bacon, but it didn't have anything either. There was this guy hugging a banana, this weird space room, another frog, and these very creepy red torches. I went back to the main room and went through this yellow tunnel. There was this really cool rainbow tower in the distance, and there were also jet skis. So I tried to ride them, but it didn't go too well. Okay, come on. Whoa. Whoa. Eventually I got on one, and I tried to get to the gate tower, but there was a barrier. The barrier broke my jet ski, so I swam over to the pirate ship, got on it, and climbed up it. I got to the very top and jumped down. There were some more jet skis, so I tried to get to them, and I managed to do it, but the jet ski didn't really like me. So I just decided to explore the island. There was a pit of fire and nothing else. So I swam back to the main island. There was this really cool building. I got on top of it and saw this cool sock. I went in the inside of the building, but there wasn't anything in there. And that's when I saw a flamingo in the distance. So I jumped off the building and bounced on the parkour course, then made my way over to the building. I climbed up the vines and made it inside the building. The flamingo was pretty cool, but there wasn't anything else inside of the building. So I went back to the main island and left the beach map. There was some pretty cool fan art, and that's when I found the special cosmetics. I found a content creator badge that I should totally get. Then I went to the mountains map, and I thought it looked really nice. There were these cool slides, and I climbed up them and went down the slide and made it out the other side. There was this really cool snow fortress and some ramps. I went down the ramps and then down the mountain. After all of that, I decided to leave the game. Monk gets a 10 out of 10. The level 100 game is Zeus hide and seek. I loaded into the game and there was a board that said some rules. I ain't reading all that. After that, I went to go check out the map. There was this cool bounce pad. It kinda sucked. Then I saw that I had some blocks, so I decided to build a house. I placed the first block, then I kept placing blocks. I finished my house, and I went to go explore some more. There was this weird button thing that gave me a key, and a button that opened a gate. I went downstairs to explore, and there was a bathroom and a bedroom. I kept looking around, and there was a chest, so I opened it and got some money. Then I found this trampoline, and it didn't work very well. After that, I decided to leave the game. Yeeps hide and seek gets a 2 out of 10.